Ayun, usual, I'll take questions as usual. Buti lang medyo maaga tayo today.
Sir, kamusta po ang ikatlong araw
Today
ng
lang.
impeachment trial?
Okay naman po. We're very happy with our performance today. Also, I'd like to, of course, thank my co-counsel, Attorney CJ Narvasa, who we feel did a really good job sa kanyang cross-examination. We had targets for today, and we can confidently say that we were able to achieve those targets.
Ano po yung mga targets?
Marami kaming mga gustong lumabas, di ba? For example, again, I cannot discuss the merits, but at least yung kita nyo, para factual lang tayo, marami kaming gustong palabasin. Like for example, yung extent ng investigation na ginawa, anong mga ibang parts ng video would provide context, for example. And then also yung nature ng affidavit of investigation, kung isa lang ba talaga yun o may isa pang nauna, etc. So, pagdating naman doon sa kung ano ba talaga yung punto na gusto naming tumbukin doon, hindi ko na lang i-discuss because that will really go into the merits. No? So sa factual lang tayo. And those we had our targets basically for cross-examination, and we're very happy that Attorney CJ was able to execute that to the T. Well, it gave at least a context on our case theory on the matter, di ba? Meaning kung ano ba yung sa pananaw namin talaga ang nangyari dito at bakit namin sinasabing walang basihan yung nagiging allegation nila, especially on the dun sa pagiging isang impeachable offense nito. But as the presiding officer mentioned, dito naman sa litigation, dito sa mga nangyayaring paglilitis, ang importante is maliban sa mga statements, ang importante talaga ay mapakita natin through yung mga ebidensya na ilalabas pa natin sa mga darating na araw. Again, ang gusto kong mapaliwanag sa ating mga kababayan, may kasi kumbaga we take our turns, so prosecution muna talagang naglalatag ng kanilang ebidensya, at pagkatapos naman nun, once the prosecution rests and makes their formal offer on the documentary evidence that they will be offering, panahon naman yun ng depensa para naman maglabas at maglatag ng aming mga testigo at mga ebidensya. Mahirap po kasi Sir Henry, pasensya na po talaga kayo because we will be getting into the merits So when we discuss that, we sway public opinion one way or the other. Pero ang masabi ko lang po, gusto lang naming ipakita kung ano ba talaga yung naging extent ng investigasyon na isinagawa, and through the words of the witness, makikita naman po natin kung ano yung nangyari talaga. Well, with the existence of the statement, siguro alam naman nating lahat ay hindi na tayo makikipaglokohan that the statement never existed. But as to the video, for example, it's important kasi ang ebidensya, hindi naman yan pwedeng maglakad mag-isa papunta sa korte, hindi ba? That's why, and not just with impeachment, that's with all regular court proceedings. Hindi naglalakad ang ebidensya mag-isa papunta sa korte. So you need someone to identify it, to authenticate it. Pagdating sa video, syempre, gusto natin malaman saan nila nakuha yung video, 'di ba? Dahil lalo na sa panahon na ganito, wala tayong aligasyon na may binago, wala tayong sinasabing ganun, pero syempre kailangan natin makasigurado na authenticated yung video, na ano ba yung source ng video nila, diba? Kasi karamihan sa atin, I think, I don't know if any one of you here were there, but members of the press were also in that video, and I think it was a Zoom video, So, importante na ma-compare yung Zoom video dun sa pinapakitang video sa atin para masabi natin na talagang faithful yung video sa talagang naganap, or talagang yun talaga yung video na lumabas, or yun yung naging Zoom press conference na lumabas. So, although, I'm sure maraming na natagalan sa proceedings kahapon, that's normal, and I'm sure pagdating sa defense, that's why I always say, in fairness to the prosecution, pagdating sa defense, baka kailanganin din namin gawin yan, mag-authenticate ng hindi lang ng video, pero mga dokumento, which will take time because we will need the persons who have personal knowledge in terms of extraction of documents, videos, transcripts, etc., to identify them in open court, no? And authenticate them. Well, kanina kasi ang sinasabi naman ay siya hindi expert but competent witness. So we were just really, in every cross-examination, we always test the credibility of the witness to be able to determine if the witness is in fact capable of making the testimonies, no, that he or she is making. So that's just part of it. Pero I don't want to form conclusions because that's for the impeachment court to do. Again, factual lang, no? We just wanted to show that there are 2 affidavits, no, of investigation, hindi lang isa. Yun na lang po, no? Ngayon, as to what that translates to, again, I really cannot argue our case in the media. Ang affidavit of investigation kasi yun basically yung complaint, no, na inihain ng NBI. Well, kanina, ang inisip namin, di naman na kailanganin muna para sa witness na ito yung 2-hour video. That's not to say that we will not be asking for the playback of the 2-hour video for some other witness. No, I'm not saying we will. I'm not saying we won't. Parati kong sinasabi, tinitingnan namin base sa takbo ng proceedings kung kailangan ba o hindi. And as I've told you, I think both the prosecution and the defense ayaw rin namin patagalin you know, we play a 2-hour video that will take 2 hours 26 minutes of our time, and of course judicial time also, no, the time of the court. So hanggat naman hindi kinakailangan, sabi nga namin, hanggat pwedeng papabilisin namin. Pero kung sa tingin namin kinakailangan, we're still not discounting the fact that we might ask for that whole 2-hour video to be 2 hours 26 minutes video. The way I'll respond to that is once the witness is called, the offer is made. If we feel the need to object, of course we will object to the purpose for the presentation of the witness. And kung hindi naman, we will be ready to cross-examine that witness. Tuesday po yata, balisa. Handa naman po kami dahil expected na po yan. Lumabas na kasi sa pre-trial brief ng prosecution itong mga witnesses na ito. So tayo naman ay handa na as far as, of course, Agent Lotok, I think, no, Agent Lotok and si Captain Bello, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, nandun na rin sila sa House Committee on Justice hearing. So, we have prepared for them. Well, that is for the prosecution kasi sila ang nagtawag kay Attorney Zulaika. So, we will just be there to see if we need to ask further questions on Attorney Zulaika once the prosecution is done with their direct. We'll see if there's a need for us to cross-examine. Yes, yesterday, nung lumabas yung motion, nakatanggap kami ng kopya ng motion for issuance of subpoena, which included the name of Attorney Zulaika Lopez or Yusek Lopez, we have informed the Vice President of the same. And ano naman siya, as I told you earlier, yung reaction naman niya, wala naman siyang ganong reaction doon because I think everyone expected it naman, including the Vice President. I think na-mention na po kanina, balikan na lang natin na-mention naman kanina yan, no? But of course, one is context, hindi ba? But I guess to sum it up, it was the transcription. That's why ganun yung tanong ni Attorney CJ. But again, gusto ko lang kasi I'm worried that I'm courting contempt, no, whenever I answer your questions on substantive matters or at least matters on the merits. So I just wanted to just state for the record that I'm just trying to be factual and recount what happened inside without saying that we were able to prove this or that. Well, si Attorney Narvasa is a very level-headed person. So kung ano man ang mga batikos sa kanya kahapon, pagpuri ngayon, his disposition remains the same. I think sanay naman kaming mga abogado na you can never please everyone at any given time. I've been spokesperson for a few years and I have my group of bashers and group of friends. So we always support each other.
Anyway, check muna natin ang sounds natin. So, anyway, while waiting for the check, yun na natin may. Okay na ba? Ayan, okay na. So ngayon, ang aking, ulitin ko lang sinabi ko na kasi papangit sounds ko kanina eh. So, una, ay nais ko lang po sabihin na lalong gumanda ang katayuan ni Sara Duterte sa Article 4. Sabi nga ni Benedict Amador, hold your horses. Kailangan antayin pa Article 4 pa lang yan. Pero sa ngayon, i-summarize ko lang ulit dahil hindi magandang sounds ko kanina, ay dahil po, hindi wag natin pag-usapan yung kung sino magaling na mga abogado. Pag-usapan na natin kung anong resulta. Ang resulta po sa panig ng prosecution ng isang araw ay naipalabas ni Atty. Ligutan na kahit 4 na oras ang kinakailangan niya gagawin imbis na 1 oras lang, na nagsalita si Sara na umupa siya ng killer para ipapatay si Bongbong Marcos, si Lisa Marcos, si Tambaluslos. So, at sinabi niya, ipapatay kung, may kondisyon na, kung siya ipapatayin. So, ibig sabihin, kung mamamatay man talaga, itong si Marcos Sr., Marcos Jr., si Lisa at saka si Tambaluslos, at patay na si Sara, wala nang ikukulong kundi yung killer na kinontrata. So, yan nga ba ay papasok sa tinatawag na conditional threat? Threat with condition? Ang threat with condition na pinaparusahan po sa ilalim ng Revised Penal Code, pag binasa mo yan, ay yung threat na kung hindi mo gagawin, patayin ka. Itong kay Sara, baliktad. Kung gagawin mo, patay ka. Di ba? Kung gagawin na patayin si Sara, mamamatay din sila sa pamamagitan ng kinontratang killer. So, ang tanong dyan, ang aspeto, lais gusto palabasin ng prosecution na masama yung mag-hire ng killer. Number 2. Number 2 ay masama yung magplano ng pagtatay sa isang tao. Ngayon, yung pag-hire at pagpapatay ay hindi po yung pinaparusahan sa Revised Penal Code natin. Paparusahan lamang po yan kung nagawa ang krimen. Pero habang pinaplano pa lamang, wala pong parusa ng paplano sa mga nagpaplano na pumatay. Walang parusa na gano'n. Ngayon, tingnan natin sa punto de vista na yan ba ay nakakasira ng tiwala ng taong bayan sa kay Sara Duterte? Yan lang ang tanong. Ang sagot niyan, makikita naman natin sa nangyari kanina, pinresenta sa cross-examination ni Attorney Carlo Narvasa na mayroon palang bahagi ang video na yon. Ang ginawa lamang ng prosecution is unfair. Ang pinakita lamang bahagi ng video, 2 hours ang haba ng video. Ang bahagi ng video kung saan nagmura si Sara at nagsabi na nakapag-hire na siya ng killer para ipapatay si BBM, si Lisa at si Tambaluslos. Ganun lamang po na-establish nila. Ngayon, na-establish naman kanina, mahaba pa pala ang unang bahagi ng video na yan. Kung saan makikita mo na isa sa kinamumuhian at nasasaktan si Sara ay yung kanyang chief of staff na si Attorney Zuleika Lopez ay ililipat sa Correctional Institute for Women. Yan pang bilibid para sa mga babae. At ang Correctional Institute ay nandiyan na sa Mandaluyong. So, ayan ang ayaw niya at umiiyak. Tapos yung gabing na yun, sinundo na si Zuleika Lopez para ilipat sa Correctional Institute for Women. Ang masama pa niyan, langga ko, tapos na po ang sesyon ng Kongreso o House of Representatives. Nagpatawag pa sila ng meeting through Zoom. Umattend yung mga congressmen ng mga Quadcom at yung mga good government na mga committee. Akalain mo, sa Zoom meeting, nagdesisyon sila na ilipat si Zuleika Lopez sa bilibid ng mga babae. Makatwiran ba yan? Makatarungan ba yan? So, yan po ang naging mitsa sa kung bakit nagsabi si Sara na nag-hire siya ng killer. Ngayon, kung ako naman tanongin mo sa totoo lang, langga, bluff lang yun. Para kang hinabol ng aso, wala kang baril, o wala kang kunwari, paluin mo yung aso na umahabol sa iyo para umatras. Kunwari, tutukan mo ng baril, pero kamay lang. Oh. Ganon lang po ang sitwasyon dito. So, ngayon, diniscuss ko rin, mayroon bang ibang choice si Sara at the time nang sinabi sa kanya ni Princess Maui na mayroong mga Operation Romanov na papatayin ang lahat ng mga Duterte. Ulitin ko lang, Romanov, ng mahina sound natin kanina, ay yan po yung nangyari sa Russia. Kung saan si Haring Romanov at saka yung asawa niya, at saka yung kanyang mga anak at mga apo, ay pinatay ng mga komunistang rebelde nang nanalo sila sa Bolshevik Rebellion. So, pinatay nila lahat ng mga Romanov, walang tinira kahit sinong bata. At ganon daw ang gagawin nila kay Duterte. So, in other words, kung ikaw si Sara, anong choice mo, anong gagawin mo? Para ma-fend off mo, para ma-depensan mo ang iyong pamilya. Iyon ang pumasok sa isip ni Sara. Bigla ang tanong, bigla ang sagot. In other words po, hindi iyon planado. Hindi yun deliberately planned na iyan ang maging sagot. So, ngayon, ibig sabihin po, kayo na lang ang maghusga kung talagang makasalanan ba si Sara. Magiging makasalanan lamang siya kung nasabi niya yun na walang legal na basihan. So, ang legal na basihan niya rito yung may threat na papatayin ang buong pamilya ng Duterte. Ubusin ang lahi ng Duterte. So, may threat din na sisiraan siya, pero nakita ni Sara, ang threat talaga dyan is gusto ni maniwala ni Sara sa threat na Operation Romanov kasi gustong-gusto ni Tambaluslos na kukunin ang presidente sa 2028 at hindi manalo si Romualdez kung andyan si Sara na tatakbo. Kaya kailangan naniwala talaga Sara dyan na totoo na papatayin sila para mananalo sila ni Romualdez. Kalahin mo naman walang utang na loob si Bongbong Marcos. Pinalibing na nga, nagagalit ang taong bayan kay Duterte noon. Pinalibing niya si Marcos Sr. sa libingan ng mga bayani. Tapos ganoon gagawin. So kaya, hindi lang yan yung November 23, 2024 na insidente. Mayroon pa yung October 18, 2024 kung saan nag-press con si Sara at sinabi niya na naginip siya na gurgurin niya si BBM at sinabihan niya si Amy kung hindi magtitigil yung kapatid mo, yung mga si Martin, kukunin ko yung katawan, pupunta ako sa libingan ng mga bayani, huhukayin kung bangkay ng tatay mo at itatapon ko sa West Philippine Sea. Yun po ang mga nangyari. At minsan, isa rin sa kinakaso laban kay Sara ng inciting to sedition daw ay yung hindi siya, nagdadalo siya ng rally ng maisog. Kachino, expression lang yun eh. So in other words, ay sa ngayon, masasabi ko na wala na tunaw na ang akusasyon sa impeachment Article 4 na nagsasabi na dapat siyang tanggalin dahil nawala ng tiwala ang tao sa kanya nang dahil lamang sa kanyang sinabi na nag-hire siya ng killer at ipapatay niya si Bongbong Marcos, si Lisa Marcos, at saka si Tambaluslos. Kaya, yan, bago ako mag-end, ipakita ko muna itong isang video na kung saan nagtatanong si Alan Peter Cayetano. Lumabas kasi po na si Agent Calilong ay kamag-anak pala ni siligutan pala yung kamag-anak ni Martin Romualdez, taga Samar. Ayan, ito naman si Alan Peter Cayetano. Pakinggan natin.
But allow me a few questions. No? Yung circumstance lang, so paano nagsimula yung investigasyon na na-involve ka? Were you from the start o hindi? At written instructions ba to? O sinabi, oy, may investigasyon tayo. Just konting clarity, paano na-umpisa yung specific investigation? And was it based on the November 3 video? Tama ba?
November 23, Your Honor.
Okay.
It all started, I received a phone call, sir, from my executive officer that there is a video wherein there is a statement given by the Vice President, which is classified as threat and I was tasked and assigned to investigate the case, sir.
Okay. So basically, ganun yung pagkasabi na I'm tasking you to look at the video, investigate.
Yes, Your Honor.
Were you working alone or with a group?
With a group, Your Honor.
NBI group.
Yes, Your Honor.
And was this is there an interagency also or just purely NBI?
Don't have personal knowledge. Maybe our chief, sir, has the
Okay.
knowledge on that, sir.
Yeah. No, that's all I asked for naman, yung personal knowledge.
Yes, Your Honor.
So pakiulit mo yung sinabing, how exactly sinabi sa'yo na tignan mo yung video, imbestigahan mo, or may statement? So,
To be specific, sir, as far as I remember, may statement si Vice President regarding the November 23 press conference na kung saan may pagbabanta na naganap,
Okay.
pakiimbestigahan.
pakiimbestigahan. So, ganun ka-general. May
Yes po.
pagbabantang naganap, pakiimbestigahan.
Yes po.
And you proceeded by watching the video.
Yes, Your Honor.
And when you watched the video, you got to the part na may pagbabanta.
No, Your Honor, I first don't know which part of that.
So, you watched the whole video, of course.
First, the clippings, Your Honor.
Okay.
Then I look for the whole video, Your Honor.
Then you watched the whole video.
Yes, Your Honor.
And thank you for your honesty. So, after the clipping, tapos the whole video, what did you do next? You reported or you made your recommendations? I don't understand the process lang kasi.
Upon identifying the whole video, I informed my executive officer that I identified the video, Your Honor.
And then yung sinabi mo yesterday, then you started looking for patterns. That's why you looked at yung dating mga video ni Vice President.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you started investigating the threat against the President, the First Lady, and the former Speaker of the House.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you investigate the threat against the Vice President?
We tried, Your Honor.
How did you try?
It is included in our letter to the Vice President, Your Honor. That's why we were inviting her to proceed to our office to investigate the threats to her life, Your Honor.
How about the vlogger who asked her about Oplan or whatever they call that, Romanov? Did you invite them?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did they testify?
The Princess Maui did not appear, Your Honor.
Did not appear. Did you also look for previous videos that are threatening to the Vice President?
We look on the Romanov part, Your Honor,
Okay.
but we identify a different person who first mentioned the Romanov, Your Honor.
Did you coordinate with the PSG?
I have no personal knowledge, Your Honor.
You yourself?
Yes, Your Honor. Maybe our chief, Your Honor.
Yeah. But you are aware that the primary responsibility of protecting both the President and the Vice President is the PSG.
Yes, Your Honor.
So isn't it fair to say that any investigation against a threat to the first family, the President or the Vice President, you would normally ask the PSG if they received any threat?
I have no personal knowledge, Your Honor.
No, I'm asking, hindi ba normal sa investigation kung sino yung primary agency na taga-protekta na lumalaban dun sa threat ay tatanungin natin?
Yes, Your Honor.
So bakit hindi tinanong ng NBI ang PSG? Or in your case, why didn't you ask the PSG?
Maybe it can be answered by a chief, Your Honor.
No, I'm not. I will ask your chief also. I'm asking you, when they said, look at this, you looked at other videos, you tried to get Princess Maui, you tried to get the Vice President, but you didn't contact the PSG for the First Lady, for the President, and for all you know, the PSG will tell you right there and there, the threat is real, or the PSG will say, politika lang yan. Diba? Both the Vice President and the President are protected by the PSG. So why wasn't so nakalimutan lang or wala sa procedure nyo or?
Your Honor, there's already a statement from the National Security Council, Your Honor, that it is an active threat, Your Honor. That's why we start investigation.
Yes, and the primary group that will know if it's an active threat is the PSG. So if this was the United States, it will be the Secret Service. So whether the FBI or the CIA, state troopers, the federal marshals, kung sino man mag-iimbestiga, parati nilang tatanungin yung Secret Service. So I'm just curious why we did not ask the PSG input.
Kindly wind up, Senator Cayetano. Senator
Okay.
Cayetano.
So my last question is, how did you characterize the threat of the Vice President to the President. Given that ang exact words niya, huwag kang mag-alala ma'am sa security ko kasi may kinausap na akong tao, sinabi ko sa kanya, kapag pinatay ako. So that'll be fair to you and not vague, no? Did that phrase, kapag pinatay ako, have any bearing in your investigation?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what was that bearing or thoughts in your mind?
First of all po, dun sa statement, may nakausap na po. It already took place before pa yung mangyari yung meeting. And nung
Excuse me.
condition,
I'm not talking about yung may kinausap na para pumatay. Ang sinasabi ko yung sinabi niya na pag pinatay ako.
yes, Your Honor.
How did that affect your investigation?
There is a condition na kapag pinatay siya.
Yeah.
But as we can see, it's only applicable if there is only two parties. The statement make a loophole wherein a third party can use that na kapag namatay si BP, ma-execute ngayon yung statement ni BP na may nakausap na siya without the participation of the one mentioned, the President, the First Lady, and the Speaker of the House, Your Honor.
That's fair. But what I'm saying is that in your reports, did you characterize it as a conditional threat? Kasi kung hindi naman siya pinatay, the logical implication is that there's no threat against the... So I'm not saying it's not illegal, immoral to contract a killer. I'm just trying to follow the logic na pag sinabi kong pakukulong kita, Mr. Witness, pag nagsinungaling ka under oath, then it's actually not a threat. It's a legal... I'm just telling you the law, di ba? Pero pag sinabi kong pag hindi ka sumunod sa akin, ano yung kita? So that's my last question lang. So how did you characterize that? It wasn't a conditional in your mind because may kinausap na?
Even with or without, sir, it's still considered a threat as long as the
I have no doubt there. I'm just asking, is it a conditional threat?
based on our affidavit, sir, I believe it's conditional, which
Based in your affidavit. But your initial assessment, yung personal mo as an investigator, this is an investigation of the whole NBI, but yung personal mo.
the threat is absolute, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Judge Cayetano.
Yeah.
We now proceed. Senator Judge Padilla is recognized.
Maraming salamat po.
Thereafter, Senator Judge Zubiri.
Maraming
Senator
salamat
Judge
po.
Padilla, you have 2 minutes.
Opo. Nais ko lamang po magtanong sa ating saksi. Ginoong saksi, kanina po kasi habang nagkakaroon ng pagdinig, ako po'y laging iistorbo dahil tuwing may itatanong, mag-o-object, medyo magulo po eh. Pwede po bang sagutin po ninyo ako dahil noong pong February 5, ang sabi po dito ay insufficient po yung na hindi dapat makarating na sa preliminary investigation. Tama po ba? February 5 po yun?
May certification, sir. Yes po.
Opo. Tapos nung February 14, naging sufficient na for conduct of preliminary investigation. Nasagot po ba yung 7 na sinabi dito na para, ang sinasabi po kasi dito nung February 5, merong 7 na kulang.
I believe so, sir. That's why we have received a certification, sir.
Ayun. Kasi po, parang narinig ko kanina, hindi po naibigay yung original copy nung sinagawang interview kay Vice President Sara Duterte. Yung original po na kopya, kung sino po yung nag-record. Wala po kayong affidavit? Meron po ba kayong affidavit na nakuha nyo?
Yes, sir. Ako po yung ang inire-request po ng DOJ dyan is affidavit po nung nag-screen record, which is my affidavit, Your Honor.
Meron po siyang affidavit?
Ako, sir. Ako po yung nag-execute, sir.
Kasi hindi
ang-
po yung mismong tao.
Yes po. Ang hinihingi po kasi ni DOJ is kung sino yung nag-screen record through OBS, sir.
Hindi po yung mismong tao.
Yes, Your Honor.
Kayo lang po yung nag-affidavit.
Yes, Your Honor.
Pero meron po kayong ng pagkakataon ba na nakausap niyo yung tao at nagbigay siya ng affidavit?
May I clarify, Your Honor, if sinong tao yung tinutukoy?
Yung nag-record po.
Ako po yung nag-record through OBS, sir.
Hindi po. Yung mismong nag-record po kay Inday sa Vice President. Nakausap niyo po ba? Yung raw file po. Kasi napakahalaga po nun. Kasi doon po natin malalaman kung original ba o hindi.
The video itself, sir, is publicly available. That's why I performed the recording, sir.
Opo. Pakisagot na lang po, mahal na saksi, kung nakuha niyo po ba yung original. Yung original, hindi po yung galing sa internet.
The original, no, sir.
Okay. Yun lamang po. Maraming salamat po.
So, yan na po, very clear, no? Sa lahat ng ating sitwasyon dito ay napatunayan po
What is your pleasure, sir?
na napatunayan na kulang talaga.
Mr. President and Mr. Presiding Officer, before I ask to be allowed to ask a question,
Yan. Napatunayan na ngayon na lumiit na ang chance na manalo ng mga kumakaso laban kay Sara kung ang pag-usapan natin ay itong Article 4, yung grave threats at saka sedition. Bukas po, bukas po, ang testigo nila ay patawag nila si Attorney Jeremy Lutok na kaibigan ko rin yan at nabasa ko na rin yung kanyang testimonya. Pero sa ngayon parang sabihin ko sa inyo, walang mangyari sa kanyang testimonya. Uulitin lamang ang sinabi kanina ni Attorney Mark Calilong. The same thing. Ibig sabihin, pag the same thing pag inulit, di wala, panalo na rin si Sara. At ang isa pa, patawag na si Zuleika Lopez para i-attempt nila na patunayan ng mga prosecution na nagsisinungaling si Zuleika Lopez. Abangan natin po bukas. Magandang umaga po sa inyong, magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Hanggang dyan na muna tayo ngayon at magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Hindi po muna ako magtawag kasi medyo marami tayong gagawin.